one of those guys you mentioned, Kevin O'Connell, man. I think the one of the lasting images of Week 17, or
Yeah.
maybe of this entire season, is going to be Sam Darnold getting like the beer shower or whatever it was, and he's getting lifted on his teammates' shoulders, paraded around the locker room. And what was even cooler than that was Kevin O'Connell standing off to the side, just kind of taking it all in. I mean,
Yeah.
the culture in
Couldn't be more
Minneapolis
proud,
is
right? Like a
it's
proud
incredible.
pop of his son who man just hit the game winning home run, just sat back. Let me allow him to take his glory. Like what a Kevin O'Connell is one of the best humans in this league. Like there's just he's different, man. He's not like everybody else. And I got to see, and here's the thing. When you have guys who are really good offensive coaches, prospects to be head coaches, oftentimes you don't know how they're going to be in front of the room. So you interview these guys, and man, they kind of tell you what their philosophy is going to be, what their games, what their game plan is going to be, what their structure is going to be, what their schedule is going to be. They can tell you how they'll be in the room, and I've been in there a lot. I go on a lot of team meetings. Certain guys, there's really no way to see it until it happens. I was in their team meeting. The Vikings were the first team that ever brought me in and talked mental health to the team. And I've known Kevin O'Connell, obviously the Rams for a while, also even back in the day when it was the Jets. Um, and I sat in a room. First time I saw Kevin O'Connell in front of the room, and I looked up like, oh my God, where did this come from? And look, being in the fight camp for years, man, I've been around some of the greatest motivators in the history of sports to motivate guys to go take 3 steps up into a cage or in a ring when everyone's watching. There's a different set of nerves, right? And then you have 1 minute in between a round. It really motivates me. I've been so around the greatest. I saw him in front of the room. I was like, this dude is not the same Kevin O'Connell that I knew. He is so dynamic in front of that room, but he's so authentic. He's so real. And exactly like what you just saw. You saw a guy who sat back, couldn't like, you saw how much he cared about a guy like Sam. And that that really leaks out to everybody else, to these players going, man, this guy cares about us. We're gonna go the extra yard, we're gonna go the extra mile for him. And Kevin is man, there's play callers and there's developers. Kevin O'Connell's a developer. He's a developer of talent. And I think he's one of the best coaches in this league. And if I'm a young quarterback, that's who I want to go with.
I was gonna say, I mean, I don't want to take any very deserved credit away from Sam Darnold. I mean, he's the guy that has to do it, but it's hard not to see the job that he has done with Sam, and like it's like a superpower, this ability to get the best out of these guys.
And
I
what he did
mean,
with Kirk Cousins, too. Don't forget that.
Kirk Cousins, I
Right?
would even I keep throwing Josh Dobbs in there as well. Like he
Yeah, what
got
you do, Josh Dobbs, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
so
100%. And he,
it's such
yeah.
an asset to be able to look at that and say, if we bring this guy into our building, Kevin O'Connell is going to get the most possible out of him. I mean, when you think about free agency, when you think about the draft, I just think that is such a valuable thing to be able to say about your head coach.
And I will look at that video. If I'm a free agent, I go, I want to be loved like that. Like, and again, these coaches and I talk about a lot. And we talk about it's a scarier world for these players than ever before. They're getting crushed on social media, and there's nothing authentic in their lives. It's bots are hitting them up, crushing them. They're seeing filtered highlights all day long of everybody else on Facebook and Instagram. There's nothing real. They want authenticity now, and they want to get loved up now more than they ever have in the past. That's why kind of that old, Belichick style, just beating you down, just doesn't work with these guys anymore. They've already been beaten down all week on social media and by this and by that, and their families hearing about it, and their agents and their managers, and they have bigger teams now than they ever had. And man, you got to love them up these days. Like you can't beat these guys down anymore because they just shut down. And if I am again a free agent, I'm seeing that. I'm a potential free agent. I'm seeing that, and I'm like, man, I need that in my life. I need a Kevin O'Connell in my life.
With all of that beautiful stuff said, do you think it's too soon to be thinking about what the future looks like for Sam Darnold? I mean, at the like even as recently as a month or two ago, I'm thinking, they committed to JJ McCarthy by drafting him. I don't know how they pull this off, but with each milestone the Vikings achieve, it feels harder and harder to imagine Sam Darnold playing somewhere else next year.
I don't know the answer to that question because I think that like they haven't started contract talks with him, and he may decide. And I haven't talked to Sam about it. I've known Sam since his I think his rookie year. Love Sam. Was texting with him last night after the game. But he's going to have to probably make a decision. Man, do I want to? And we had this big debate on our OT show yesterday. Do you take less to stay with Kevin O'Connell, or do you go and try and get as much as you can and have confidence in yourself that you could do it anywhere else now? That's a decision Sam's going to have to make. I don't know if there's any wrong answer there. And it's funny because somebody will say, well, you can make 30 million here or 60 million there or 50 million there. What's the difference? I'm like, well, for a lot of us, there's a big difference. But at the same time, for a lot of people, there's not. Like, man, it's like you have a certain amount of money, you have generational wealth. That's that. But I don't know the answer for Sam. But also they have to look and see what J.J.'s progress is, right? Because he had the surgery, then they had to go back and do another surgery.
It's easy to forget about the injury for sure.
Right, we forget about that also. And he's not going to be right. Like, Kirk came back and even Aaron, I think, came back from those Achilles. I don't think they were right early on in the season at all. Not like, certainly not 100%, or may have felt it, but you didn't have the confidence in it. You didn't move like you did in the past. So you don't know where that's going to be. He may need an extra year to really get that thing kind of going. And then even a year after that, to sit and learn. Like, I don't know the answer to that question. So then Sam may say, well, I could sit here for another couple of years and stay with Kevin and, win more and learn more and all that, but, and help get ready for the next, for that next quarterback and JJ. But he may say, no, I want to be a starter for the next 10 years. I don't know the answer because I haven't asked Sam yet, but I know they haven't opened negotiations.
Going to be a fascinating decision for the Vikings and for Sam Darnold.
But I also think Sam will, whatever, regardless. Like, I think when Baker Mayfield was Sean McVay, it changed Baker. It helped him for the future moving on. He took certain traits from that, okay, and was able to move on. And I think Sam, no matter what, whether he stays with Kevin or he goes somewhere else, he's a better quarterback forever for being with Kevin O'Connell.
I feel very comfortable agreeing with you there. I can't wait to see where this goes for him.
And he's doing Kyle Shanahan and Kevin O'Connell now, right? So he's a different guy than he was with the Jets and the Panthers.